Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back. So this time we will be work on our user's profile page. So if I just log in Billy's email and then password, so you can see it redirect us to user/profile. Now we need to create something good here. So if I just go to my text editor and close all the files that we worked recently, and just we need to open up, if I just open up my web.php, the route file, you can see we manually created a closure function and written some text. Okay, so we need to create a controller first. So if I just go to my terminal and then say php artisan make a controller, and the name of the controller inside front folder, and the name of the controller would be user profile controller, right? The controller has been created. Now if I just open up my controller, user profile controller, and then simply we'll create a method called index, public function index, and that would be written a view, and that we will create right now inside front profile and index page, right? So if you just go to resource views, and then we need to inside a front folder we need to create a blade file. Oh, first of all we need to create a folder. So we'll call this profile, and then inside profile we need to create a index file, right? And that will be extending master layout, extend from front layouts, and then master layout, and then of course we'll use the section of content and section h2 profile, right? So let's just go to route and edit this. We'll simply say inside our front controller, and then inside our front folder, then we have user profile controller and the index method, right? So let's go ahead and reload the page, and there we go, that's working fine. Okay, now we need to pull out some data for some information about this user. For example, Billy's login. Now we need to show Billy's information in tabular form. So if I just say user, and then okay, let's just first track the user ID. So if I just say ID equal to, okay, let's just say die and dump, and then auth ID. So if I just reload the page, okay, that's not working. We need to include user as well. Oh yeah, okay, the 2, that means the Billy's ID is 2. So we need to say, let's create an ID, and that will be equal to auth user ID. That returns basically the same ID, the user is the same ID that's logged right now. So if you just say user equal to user find or where ID equal to this ID, and then get the first result, right? And we say, if we just say compact this user, and if you just go to index.blade file and die and dump the user to check is it working. Okay, the controller is not being finding, so we need to include user here. We need to include the namespace of the user. So if I just reload the page, there we go, the user is working, right? This is the information of user. So we need to add the user in tabular form. If I just add heading user h3 user details, and then table border table, and then table in the border form. So we need a tr th, okay, id for example, and td for table data, and then user id, right? So if we just reload the page, there we go, we are getting the ID of user. So again we need a row, and this time we need the name of the user, name, reload the page, there we go, and then of course the email for user, there we go, and then finally when registered. Registered at, so we'll call the column called created at, right? There we go. And then of course there are many things you can add and retrieve, but I think we'll keep this simple. And then finally, what do we have left? The ID, password. Yep, I think we will just quite it here. Okay, this is just simple example of user. We can also add the t head here, and then th, for example, user details, and then we can use the call span too, and of course it needs tr as well. There we go. And yeah, we can also add a button called edit user and some cogs here, some icon for here. We need a cogs icon here. There we go. And we need to pull this right on right side, pull it on right. There we go. Right, but I will not create this functionality of edit user. This is quite simple. If you follow up the admin, how I do work on admin's area, the for example the edit product, right? So this is quite simple. You need to follow these steps that are used in editing add product. You need to follow these steps and edit user, right? You can do it. Well, this video is quite I don't want to make long videos, so simply in the next video we will work on a user has, as we mentioned, the user has many orders and many products, so we'll work on that functionality, how many products or order the user has or belongs to, right? So see you in the next video.